Now, the Irish one is an actual tragedy, though. I mean, look at this. When you go to Ireland, of course, you have to do an IRA plot. I mean, they can't even separate us from the terrorists. Even when Bond was planning to go to Ireland, we have to shoehorn in the IRA. And that's because everyone in Ireland is in Hamas. Oh, sorry. IRA. Sorry, I'm getting my British foreign policies mixed up. As I mentioned earlier, 60 years of James Bond. That's a long time for James Bond to be in existence. And it's a long period in human history to cover. And although it's an interesting period, it's also a downright dangerous period of history if you are the United Kingdom. And in relation to James Bond, it's a very dangerous period of history if you're a spy. Here's the timeline 1947 to the modern times. Not a great era to be a spy. And of course, we can look at the character of James Bond. He's evolved, starting off as a Cold War era spy, and then he just becomes this timeless cinematic hero, adapting to changing times and changing political tides and societal changes. And women loving. Well, we can't forget the women loving. Or men loving. We don't know. I mean, he has the look of a man who would have sex with anything with a pulse, so I wouldn't be shocked. And obviously, in this huge span of history, the series does parallel real world geopolitical events. Now, how it navigated those was quite creative and quite clever at times. The majority of the movies were, of course, released and set during the Cold War. And so a type of measured tactic was used so as not to poke the bear, that bear being the Soviet Union. And this is because obviously a great number of the James Bond movies revolve around the Soviet Union as the, let's call them antagonists. They're not technically the bad guys in the movie. I'll get to this in a second. Basically, don't mention the war. And certainly don't mention the Irish either. In fact, don't mention Ireland at all. For the record, here are all the James Bond movies on the screen. Let's have a look at them. Let's bask in their glory. And look, here's the one set in Ireland. Well, look, here's the ones that mention Ireland at least. Okay. Well, look, how about the ones where Ireland just appears like some fabled Easter egg in the background?